friends, and thanks for joining me. And today I want to talk to you about the slow creep. That basically means when you make more money, you get a bonus, you make a raise, you take a new job that makes more money. Someone gets a second job or something like that. Somebody moves from working part-time to full-time, whatever it may be. Whatever it is that helps you increase your income, what's the best thing that we can do with that extra income? Well, I know that a lot of us, and I know this definitely applies to us, when we have a specific goal in mind or something we want to do, we think to ourselves, well, maybe if we made more money, we would be able to do this thing or whatever else. So I know that that's something that we look forward to when that happens. But what I kind of see a lot in life is that we make a raise, we get these extra, income, but then what a lot of people will do is just increase their living expenses. So they'll take a new job, but then they want a new car. Or, they get a, raise, but then they want to spend more on just different things like that. So, how do we avoid this sort of stuff from happening, and is it really necessary? One of the first mentalities that people have is that, well, I can afford to, so I spend more. And there's really nothing wrong with that. That's true. And as long as somebody has goals, of where that may be why they want to make the more money, then fine. They can afford more, so they can spend more. And then there's the I deserve to. So if, you work really hard, I deserve to spend more, or if I've, made a better, job or whatever, I, deserve to have a nicer car or whatever. And, I kind of debate this one a little bit. I don't necessarily always believe that we are always needing these sorts of things. Everyone has their own money and they're managing it the way that they need to, so that's fine. Some people say, well, I need to spend more, and there are a lot of different reasons why we may need to spend more. There's obviously inflation, so everything is continuing to cost more. Maybe rent is going up every year, so it, takes the place of whatever raise you may be getting at work. Or maybe you have certain things you have to pay for with your job, like I do. I have all kinds of business expenses that I have to have in order to keep my job. Of course, I'm driving a whole lot more now. Being a real estate agent, I obviously have to drive to people's houses so I can give them a price evaluation on how much it's worth, or to meet a client at a property so that I can show it. I can't really have those sorts of people to be helped if I'm not driving to these locations. Or, of course, on the back end, I have all kinds of fees. I have an MLS fee, I have an office fee, I have, errors and emissions insurance that I have to pay for. There was like all the licensing, requirements and other things. There was all sorts of other, fees and other things that I not only had to pay up front, but that I have to continue to pay. And so obviously I do actually have to spend more in order to have my job. But the good thing about it is I'm paying this in fees, but I'm making this. And so it more than compensates for all of the, fees that I have to pay. So it's worth it. And I know there are a lot of other jobs that are the same way. Maybe you need to buy the scrubs for your job. Maybe you need whatever it may be. Speaking of scrubs, it can also be tied to other things, You may have a job where you have to maintain a specific appearance. Maybe you have a certain uniform that you have to buy. Well, of course that's going to cost money, and so of course you're going to have to spend that in order to have the job. And then there's the status. So I work in an industry where status is big. A lot of people will wear, a lot of jewelry. They'll wear expensive clothes. They'll have an expensive car. The reason they have all these expensive things is because they want to make sure the world makes it appears as though they've made it. So, it's basically the look of being successful. And so people will say, oh yeah, they must be a good, agent because look how nice of a car they have. They must obviously make a lot doing what they're doing. And so therefore they are a good agent. And so this one, I really don't know. I want to not think that this is the way the world is, and that, a seller would choose one agent over another based on the kind of car they drive or what kind of clothes they're wearing. But maybe it is true. I honestly think that I have been judged on my car that I have. I came up to a house one time where I was, meeting a buyer to look at a home, and I could tell that they had arrived there before me actually, which I really try not to let happen, but they did. And so they kind of like looked at me, looked at my car, looked at me, looked at my car again. And I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what to think here. But I wanted your opinion on this. Do you honestly think that that's one of the things that matters to people? I mean, I know that we all have sort of a mentality that's against the status quo. And, that's obviously why we're friends, is because we think a lot alike. Birds of a feather flock together, right? But I want to know what you think. Do you honestly think that status is one of the reasons why we may need to spend more money? This is one of the things, again, I really don't know. And so I would really like, your opinion. Here's my main point, actually, of why I wanted to do this. The whole reason why sometimes we want to make the more money, like I said in the beginning, is because we have certain goals that we want to reach. And so if we're constantly making more money, but then we spend more money, you know what I mean? Make more, spend more, then all of those goals that we keep thinking maybe we'll do once we make more money never really happen. We never do make that extra money so that we can pay down the debt. We never do make that extra money so we can invest more or put more into savings or whatever the case may be. And so if there are ways that we can kind of catch ourselves on this slow creep, to where we maybe do get a raise, but then we maintain the same lifestyle, then we will have that margin, in our budgets to be able to achieve these goals a little bit better. So if we can catch ourselves and not do the whole, well, I deserve, or, I can, so I will, or, these sorts of things, then we really can better achieve the goals, and we'll be better off in the long run by having this mentality and making sure that we kind of do these sorts of things instead. Because ultimately, I want you guys to be successful. I want you all to be successful, and I want you to be able to break free from the rat race just as badly as I want to break free from it. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and talk about this topic today, even though it's a little bit of a difficult one. Just so we can kind of get this out there and see if there's anything we can do to help, maintain the same lifestyles, even though we are making more. Obviously, as best as we can, because there are legit reasons why we, again, have to spend more, like I mentioned earlier. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope that you're able to, give me your opinion below, because I really do want to hear from you as well. So thanks for watching. I'm Frugal Green Girl, and we'll see you next time.